I'm Terry Evans, and this is the Alberta Golf Podcast. Today, Moving Day, the Masters 2026. Art New from Trestle Creek Golf Resort will join me, and it's brought to you by mixedbag.com, mixdbag.com. Also brought to you by Canada Golf Cart Driving Range on Ellerslie Road in Edmonton. Enjoy today's podcast, and make sure you're listening for that special code word so you can get a great deal at Canada Golf Cart Driving Range. It's Moving Day 2026 at the Masters. And joining me again for the inaugural Alberta Golf Podcast, Art New from Trestle Creek Golf Resort, just west of the city of Edmonton. Art, wearing all of your gear. You got your green jacket, your A-Man hat. You got the flag in the background I can see under your window, all ready for Masters weekend. And Saturday is going to be exciting. We're seeing some things that we haven't seen before at the Masters, even with Tiger in his heyday.
Absolutely. Good morning, by the way, and great to see you again. And thanks for having me. It's I couldn't believe the back nine yesterday. What happened?
Hang on.
Yep.
The second nine.
Correct. Thank you for that correction. That's right.
We're not allowed to say the back nine or front nine anymore. It's the first nine and the second nine.
That's right. Thank you for that. I forgot about that. But I was shocked. I really didn't expect this out of Rory. I thought with him winning and then all the functions he's had to attend, with the ANWA, the ladies amateur, then the drive, chip, and putt, and the hosting the dinner, etc., which looked fabulous. The menu, I'm sure you've seen it, and the wine list and everything. I really thought he wouldn't be an issue. And unfortunately, I didn't pick him in any of my pools, so I'm not looking very good. But wow, did he put on a show. He came back a little bit yesterday on the first nine, and then he just turned it around, and it's pretty impressive. Now, it's going to be interesting because there's got to be, yes, he won, and he finally got the monkey off his back last year. But if you remember the collapse in, I want to say 2011 or 12, where he had the big lead on Sunday, and then we all know the shot on 10 into the Butler Cabins on the left, and the rest was history. But I think having the monkey off his back and winning last year is going to make a big difference. But it'll be interesting to see if some guys can put heat on him today. I have a few names later we'll talk about that I think will. And but I mean, a 6-shot cushion is pretty sweet going into the weekend.
Yes. We are recording this on Saturday of the Masters, Moving Day, as it were. That's why we call it that. And like I said, this is the inaugural Alberta Golf Podcast. We did some of these last year, included in the Reluctantly podcast umbrella, and they were pretty well received, and lots of people responding to our secret code words that Art would serve up for deals at Trestle Creek. So we will put another little Easter egg in the show again today, a code word that you can take advantage of. And we'll tell you about our sponsors here on the Alberta Golf Podcast for Moving Day for the 4 majors for 2026. Canada Golf Cart Driving Range on Ellerslie Road in Edmonton, already open. It's noon till 7. Are those the hours?
I believe so. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We actually opened in January this year. We scraped off the snow, and I was over in Asia, and my partners said, yeah, we got it open. So we opened for 2 days and was successful. And then, of course, the weather was hit and miss this spring. It was probably the worst spring as far as bad weather consistently. Yeah. And so we couldn't get open too many days, but we had a few that we snuck in. So we're going now, and hopefully moving forward, the weather will improve and we'll have a golf season right away.
Okay, so there you go. Canada Golf Cart Driving Range on Ellerslie Road in Edmonton. A great place to get your shoulders and labrum and everything all in style before all of the golf courses actually open up in grand fashion here for the 2026 golf season. Also sponsoring again this year, we have mixedbag.com. Elevate your golf experience with high quality, stylish clothing for men and women. Blending performance and comfort at a competitive price. mixedbag.com, mixedbag.com. You can see that I'm wearing one of the Mixed Bag golf shirts. They've got the logo right there on the shoulder and all of this stuff. This is the hummingbird model on my
Very nice.
collar. So mixedbag.com and Canada Golf Cart Driving Range. Thank you so much. We'll have a code word in the episode here in a few minutes to let you know what kind of a spiff you can get at Canada Golf Cart Driving Range on Ellerslie Road in Edmonton. So you briefly mentioned the golf pool, and thank you for sending that link to me so that I could donate $40. It's funny because you sent it to me and I looked at it and I thought, everybody sends me these golf pools. I'm not sure if I want to. Oh, okay. I'll put in a couple of teams. So I put in a couple of teams and I'm just looking to see right now. I'm going to type in my team names and see where I'm standing as of right now. Oh, look at that. I'm 85th and 86th. 85th and 86th. I didn't. How many teams are there? I
Yeah,
think
I
there's
think
only
there was
91.
95 in there. I think I'm beyond you. So if type in Artie's Army and see where
Okay,
that comes up.
let's see what Artie's Artie. Artie. Yeah, there's Artie. You're 72 and 75 and 88. So you've got two ahead of me and one after me. Holy cow. So
Yeah, we
here
did.
I'll tell you what happened. So on Thursday, I turn on the Masters for the first time thinking, "Hey, I haven't even looked at my pool yet or anything like that." And I finished up doing some stuff in my studio and whatnot. And I turned on the Masters, and the first thing I saw, I'm without a word of a lie, is one of the guys that I picked in my pool, Rasmus Højgaard,
Yeah.
who is, I think, as we record this on Saturday morning, he is last on the leaderboard of all of the people who made the cut. I see a bunch of sixes already on the scorecard, fives and sixes where there's supposed to be fours and threes.
Yeah.
So the first thing I saw when I turned on the Masters on Thursday is a close-up of a bare foot in Rays Creek and a shoe on the shore of Rays Creek. They pan out, there's Rasmus Højgaard. And I thought, oh my God, here we
Yeah.
are. We're starting my golf pool with Rasmus Højgaard standing in Rays Creek. So
Yeah,
I
I
can't
feel the
believe he
same
made the
way.
cut.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. I had his twin brother actually on one of my teams and because he's been playing great and yeah, he didn't even make the cut, I don't think. But
No.
oh well.
It's
It is what it is. So
well,
I
and
oh,
let's talk about the surprises. Do you want to start there, or have you got something in
well,
mind?
I just had a couple interesting tidbits before about Augusta and the Masters. You know, they always do some sort of renovation and stuff on a hole, or it's quite amazing and remarkable how quickly they put something together for the next year. So this year, the big highlight is the new 3-story player services building, so that they can bring their guests there, their families. There's a full dining room on the 3rd floor. There's a state-of-the-art fitness center. There's a recovery center, lockers. It's quite the building, and it's just behind the tournament practice area that we all see them warming up on, and quite interesting. So that practice area, I don't know if people know this, but it's only used for the golf tournament, for the Masters. The rest of the year, it is shut down. Members can't use it. They have a different driving range they use and practice area. So it's pretty neat. A lot of people might not know that. The other tweak they did, hole 17, and this was different, I thought. They reduced it by 12 yards in length. Normally, they've been adding length to all the golf holes, so for some reason, they reduced that one a little. I'm not exactly sure why. And then, they built a new general, what do they call it? The general lodge on the left side of 10 for housing, so some more cabins and stuff for the members and their guests, and so that was quite neat. Uh, then the other interesting thing, in 1994, some guy was shopping and just in a thrift store in Toronto, and he's walking through, looking through the rack, and comes across a green jacket, and it's got the Augusta logo on it, and he's like, "No way." He's a golfer. Pulls this jacket off, opens it up. It's got the tags from the tailors in Augusta and stuff. He bought it for $5. So he contacts Augusta, and they authenticate, yes, that's one of our jackets. Like, they didn't say how it got out or whose jacket or anything. But anyway, he sold it later at auction for 140,000. So pretty cool, to come across that, and then it's an actual green jacket. I heard reports. I remember reading a few years ago that somehow one was taken from a locker room, or the locker room, and went missing, and, maybe that was it. I don't know. That turned up years later.
Well, that's a good point to bring up because the green jackets, the new champion gets to wear his green jacket, and you can correct me if I'm wrong if you do know. He gets to wear his green jacket 2 places, but after a certain amount of time, I don't know if it's the full year of his championship, he has
Yeah,
to return the jacket to Augusta National where it stays, and he only wears it while he's there at Augusta National as the champion, say at the dinner or, wandering around or whatever.
that's correct. So the champion gets to take the jacket for a year, and travel, do his talk shows, all that stuff. And then after the year, when the tournament's on again, he has to bring it back, and it stays at Augusta in your locker, and it never leaves. Same with the members; they're not allowed to leave with their jackets. They have to leave them on site. So it's pretty cool. Um, the other neat thing yesterday, Tyrrell Hatton, he there's been over 9,000 tournament rounds in the Masters over the years, and he is only the third player in history to hit all 18 greens in regulation, after all those rounds. So that's quite remarkable to me. I don't know what the odds would be for hitting all 18, but only the third guy in 9,000 rounds to do that. So pretty impressive.
Do you know who the other 2 were?
You know what? I don't, as a matter of fact, and I should have had that info, but I'll have that. I'll see if I can get that while we're talking here. But yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive.
I think I have Hatton on one of my pools, but he's not, he's not, making up for any of the other people the other people that I have that are weighing
No,
me down. Oh, no, I don't. I have some of the beauties like Akshay Bhatia, Cameron Smith, Min Woo Lee. Oh, and I picked Bryson DeChambeau too. Tell me what you think about Bryson and his implosion.
yeah, I I had him on my pools too. The guy's been playing well on live, and yeah, I expected a lot more from him this year, especially after last year. He played so well, and I thought, okay, he's going to come back this year and prove a point. And I had him on my pools, and yeah, he's such a head case. I don't know. I thought he'd turn the corner and he was moving in the right direction, but yeah, that was quite something.
Maybe
That
it would have been better if Bryson started off each round by hitting from the flower bed in the circle driveway of Magnolia Lane, trying to hit it over the clubhouse first,
Yeah, and
kinda
sinking
like
it in a hole exactly on the
like he
putting
was
green.
doing over his house.
Yeah, which was awesome. I really enjoyed that. But, yeah, it was, yeah, I was really shocked, and the other guy that I was shocked about was Robert McIntyre. I had him in my pools, and he played so well at Valero, and he's a great player, and when I mean, that meltdown 13 when he took the 9, and then, or sorry, on 15. That
15,
was
there you go, 15.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
15, my
That
back
was
then.
that's right. That was that was just dumb, and then he just lost it, he lost control of his emotions and everything, and, um, Augusta does a gnome every year in a different motif,
Yeah.
wearing different Augusta clothing. I don't know if you saw the meme somebody did of McIntyre in a as a garden gnome, giving everybody the bird because he did that at Augusta on Friday. So yeah,
He he was reprimanded for that. Augusta
yeah,
National has very strict rules, about, behavior, and it's, doesn't matter if you're a first-time patron or, if you're there for the 30th time as a competitor, and a perfect example of that not only is the McIntyre thing with fingering the hole after taking a bad score on it, which was his own doing anyway, really, but the other story, did you heard about Mark
I did.
Calcavecchia?
Yeah, I have that in my notes here too. Yeah,
So you're not allowed to have a phone on, the grounds of Augusta National Golf Club,
ever.
and they no, and, yeah, I mean, you can take a camera on the Wednesday, which, like the picture you're seeing behind me, I took that picture with my, whatever, the Canon, I took I got some great shots that year that I was there. I think that was 2005. But after the practice round is done, as soon as competition starts, no cameras and, of course, no phones or anything like that, and it doesn't matter who you are or how many times you've been there, you cannot have a phone on the grounds of the Augusta Golf Club, and, apparently, Calc he pulled this phone out on the 7th and then again on the 12th hole, and that's when he was escorted off
Yeah.
the grounds by by
Yeah, I know.
security.
I don't know, he must've I don't know what he was thinking 'cause I'm sure he knows the rule. They tell you as you're going through the gates, "Do you have any cell phones?" Because they have lockers there that you can put them in. And, yeah, I don't know how there's also maybe it's different for past PGA players and stuff. You go through a metal detector, and, I don't know how he got it in there. It was bizarre, but yeah, he should have known better.
Yeah.
So I don't feel sorry for him.
So you have a yearly tradition where you have the fellas over, a select group of a few, and you make some sandwiches and stuff and watch the final round. So this is a Sunday tradition, but well, first of all, tell me about the sandwiches.
Well, so, I was at Augusta or at the Masters in 2016, and, I mean, as you know, just a magical place. It exceeds your expectations. But anyway, I fell in love with pimento cheese sandwiches, and, they were $1.50 then, and I think they still are now. And the egg salad's pretty good too, and all the food is great. The peach, ice cream sandwiches were outstanding. But anyway, the pimento cheese, I fell in love with that, so when I came home after that masters, I decided to try and learn how to make it, and I'll be honest, I just Googled on the internet and found a bunch of different recipes, and over the years tried and found my favorite one, and so my tradition since then, watching with some friends, and, I make a batch of pimento cheese and some egg salad sandwiches, and we all have, the plastic cups that you got with the beer. I brought home a bunch of those, so we'll have our beer in that and a pimento cheese or 2, and, yeah, that's kind of been the tradition, so it's a lot of fun. The
One of the
hardest thing right now out here is to find the pimentos because they sell out, they don't, carry them too much. The Italian store has them, but if you don't get them early enough, they run out. And, but so I managed to scoop some a couple weeks ago, which which was good.
That's awesome. You were mentioned that you were at Augusta National for the Masters in 2016. I was there in 2004 and 2005. Actually, I can lump 2003 in there as well because the year that Mike Weir won the Masters, and I know we
Mhm.
talked about this last year on this podcast, but in 2003, I got my vasectomy on the Friday of the Masters,
Yeah.
knowing that I was just going to be sitting there with a package of frozen peas on my package for the entire weekend. So the Masters weekend is a great time to get a vasectomy if you have not yet already done so.
Perfect,
So,
noted.
yeah.
So I
2003, watched it from home, and then 2004 and 2005, I was there. I walked with Arnie for his final competitive round on the Friday in 2004, and I walked with Jack for his final competitive round on the Friday of 2005.
How awesome is that?
It was
I so
amazing.
I was there in 16 was Tom Watson's, final competitive round, and Watson was my idol from the time I was, like, 13, and, so on I'm sure I mentioned this last year too. On the 2nd round on 18, my chair, I placed it behind the 18th green and, right by the ropes. Well, Tom stopped right there and was getting hugs from everyone. He was crying, I was crying, and I could have touched him and given him a hug. It was pretty cool, though. It was really neat. It's such a special place, and just the rules, the traditions, you know, calling it the front nine or the first nine and the second nine, things like that. It's just it has this aura about it. I really believe it's the best major, in my opinion. It's the most entertaining, whether you're a golfer or non-golfer. You can appreciate the beauty of it. Not taking away from the other majors, they're fantastic too. But if I could only pick one for the rest of my life to watch, this would be it.
Well, and the significance is that all three of the other majors move around to different golf courses. The
Yes,
Masters is the only major that happens at the same facility every year. So,
that's right. And the TV or television doesn't do it justice, as you know. Like it's just remarkable when you're there, and the elevation changes and the beauty. There isn't a blade of grass out of place. Like it's just meticulous, which is, I mean, amazing. They get volunteers, other superintendents that come every year to help at all the golf tournaments, not just at the Masters. But they have a designated crew at the end of the day that goes out, fills all the divots. They'll cut little pieces of sod and stuff, so you don't see, you know, big divots like you do at other tournaments and stuff. It's just amazing. Um, Going back real quick, so the other two guys that hit the green in regulation, or all 18 in regulation, Jim Furyk and
uh,
Kevin Na.
oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Names that you wouldn't suspect, probably.
No, Furyk maybe, he's very consistent. Na, tended to be a little wild once in a while and entertaining, but, I wouldn't have picked him, but yeah, so quite interesting. So only those 3 people in 9,000 rounds. It's amazing.
Let's talk about Canada Golf Card Driving Range on Ellerslie Road again, sponsoring the Moving Day podcast for all the majors here on the Alberta Golf Podcast. Canada Golf Card Driving Range on Ellerslie Road, now open. You can find them on Facebook and on Instagram for all the information, the address, and all of the things. And you have a code word for a deal at the Canada Golf Cart Driving Range until the end of April. So today is April 11th until April 30th. What's your code word, and what is the deal that people can get just for listening to this podcast?
Okay, so we will, the code word will be amen. All right.
For
For
Amen Corner.
Amen Corner, yeah.
Yeah.
And, we will do a large bucket for the price of a small. So come on out and hit away. Get those muscles ready for the golf season.
So when you go into the shack there at the Canada Golf Cart Driving Range, you just go in there, say you'd like a bucket of balls, you say amen, and the person behind the counter will know that that's the code word so that you get a large bucket for the price of a small. So that is the code word that
Yeah, and
you can
real
use.
quick, Terry, just talking about traditions again with the Masters, green jacket. So the winner gets a green jacket that we talked about earlier, and, that didn't come into place until 1954. And the first green, or pardon me, 1949, the first green jacket was Sam Snead. So obviously there was 14 or 15 previous champions prior to that. So Augusta, with the way they operate, made sure that the previous champions all received a green jacket at that point. And then the tradition carried on since 49. So pretty neat.
So that would have been shortly after the war years as well.
Yes.
And if you remember reading, if you're a nerd about Augusta National, the way Art and I'm presuming that you are,
Yeah.
the same as me. From 1942 to 45, they shut down Augusta National to help out with the war effort back then. And in order to cut costs, didn't they have cows? I think they had a herd of 200 cows that went around and kept the place manicured to a certain degree. But the problem was they had some like everybody talks about the azaleas and all the flowers that come into bloom the week of Masters, but all of these cows went in and ate all of the expensive shrubs in the war years. So
Yes.
they had to deal with that in the 46, 47, 48 era
Yeah.
as they started getting ready for the green jacket presentations as
Yeah,
well.
well, the
So
the property was a nursery, prior
yes,
to a golf course, and, the Berkman family, I believe, were the ones that owned it, so I'm sure that they had access to replace those. But, I mean, it's spectacular now, it's just
yes.
beautiful.
It was called Fruitland Nurseries. Can you imagine if they would have just kept that name and still had the "Welcome to Fruitland Nurseries Golf Club." It wouldn't roll off Jim Nance's tongue the same way that
No,
Augusta National.
no, exactly. Yeah,
All right, well, let's talk about, what's gonna happen here. Obviously, we're still at the time of this recording here, we're, around 10 o'clock in the morning on moving day of the 2026 Masters. Still a few hours before the leaders, even think about teeing off. You've got McIlroy with a six-shot lead, Burns and Reed are, at -6, Rose, Lowry, and Fleetwood at -5. What do those guys do they have to go 67, 67 to even have a chance and hope
I
that Rory
think
comes back?
yeah, I really believe that 1 or 2 of them out of that pack. I think there's 11 guys that are, I mean, world-class players, within, 8 shots, and I really believe a couple of them are going to need to shoot like a 64 today. I don't know if that's out there. The conditions are so perfect, the greens are firm. Today's pin positions, you're going to have to really control your wedges and have a better, half wedge game, be able to manipulate your wedge a little lower, less spin, all that stuff. So the one guy I really think is going to do something today is Justin Rose. His wedge game is second to none. On those three-quarter wedges, half wedges, things like that, flighting it low, high. He's got it all. He's swinging great. The guy's unbelievable. I really like Justin Rose as a person. He's really grown on me, and he's become one of the best players in the world. I'm not sure what his rank is right now, but it's in the top 10. And if you recall, when he first turned pro back in the 80s, when he was 18, I think he missed 21 straight cuts the first year that he got on tour. And the guy persevered, worked hard, and now, I mean, he's a world beater. So I think he's going to have a great day today. I hope he does, but he's one to watch. Um, Another guy, Cameron Young. Now, Cam is back a little further, but he started his Masters by shooting 40 on the front nine and on the first nine. I got to keep remembering to do that. And anyway, he has come back and he's becoming quite a resilient player, and he could have a keep moving in the right direction and fire a number today. Patrick Reed, either like him or you don't like him. I'm not a huge fan. However, he's left live. He's playing on the DP World Tour. He's won twice this year. He's playing over there to the top 10 guys, I think, get exemption on the PGA Tour. He's looking like he's going to get it no problem, and he'll be back on the tour. But 2 wins already this year and big wins. So he's been playing quite steady. He could light it up. And then, you know, Chris Gotterup, he's won twice this year. Bombs it, but again, it's going to be more about short game. The course is firm, so the shorter guys are hitting it far anyway. but it's golfing your ball, on that approach shot, and when you miss in the correct spot. But the other, Rory's Ryder Cup teammates and his best friend Lowry is playing great. Tommy Fleetwood, and Hatton. I think those 3 guys are going to be right up there. Of those 3, I think one of them can really light it up, without, taking too many chances. He can get hot, and that's Fleetwood. I really like him. I like his attitude. So I'm looking for Rose, Young, and Reed and Fleetwood. Those 4, I think, could make a bit of a run and get closer, and then we'll see what Rory does.
Well,
You know
that's what I was gonna say. You talk about the guys that are gonna try and get close to Rory, but if Rory goes 69-69, that's gonna put him at -18. That's just
Yeah.
3 under for each round, and that's totally doable, the way that he's playing right
You
now,
know,
so
out of the first 2 rounds, he was 90th in driving accuracy, out of
Mhm.
the 91 players, and he's leading by 6 shots. That's incredible, and normally, that's the strength of his game. So, if all of a sudden his driver comes to life and he continues hitting the iron shots like he has been, and he's tactical in the way he's been playing Augusta, and you have to do that. It's a chess game, it's a golf course where you can miss, but then you have to be smart about how you play the next shots. Case in point, Robert McIntyre, he didn't do that, and
Mhm.
he got bit. And if you are tactical, Rory, he's missed just about every fairway, yet his precision on the next shots, thinking it out, he's been fabulous. So if he gets his driver working on the weekend and he keeps playing his irons and he's putting great, if he keeps doing that, nobody's touching him, but, we'll see because there's demons. There's always demons. I remember a shot I hit out of bounds 20 years ago when I go back to that golf course, so I can imagine that they have the same thing. They're humans, so it's a funny game. It's fickle, but it's awesome. It's gonna be a fun weekend to watch regardless, just to see
Uh,
the shots.
do you have an idea of when Trestle Creek west of Edmonton might open up?
Wow, that's a $1,000,000 question. It's, with the snow and the problem right now is the temperatures at night everywhere, not just at Trestle. It's still below 0, so the
Yeah,
ground is still frozen. So even as it melts off the surface with the sun and the heat, the water can't go anywhere right now. So we need some temperatures, above 0 all through the day and in the evening.
yeah.
Um, if I had to guess, end of April, like 1st of May sort of thing, but maybe we'll get lucky and it'll be sooner, but, that would be my guess. Typically the Edmonton area, it's 3rd week of April, give or take a week. So we're probably on the, you know, take the extra week and towards the end of the month for all the courses.
Good deal. Art New, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm looking forward to all 4 Masters and maybe a little something else too with some international play in the fall. Want to remind everybody of our sponsors on the Alberta Golf Podcast for Moving Day for the 4 majors. Mixedbag.com, mixdbag.com. Elevate your golf experience looking great with some fabulous fashions for men and women. mixdbag.com. And Canada Golf Card Driving Range on Ellerslie Road in Edmonton, now open, and the code word is Amen. And that will get you a large bucket for the price of a small bucket if you say Amen. That's the code word from the Alberta Golf Podcast. That goes until April 30th. Use the code word to go and get your swing in shape. All right. Enjoy your pimento sandwich. Say hi to Blair and all the fellas tomorrow as you watch the final round of the Masters. And thanks for doing this, Art.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. I love it. And, it's going to be a fun weekend, so enjoy it as well.